Kia ora level 2 PE whānau. Today we'll be looking at self-talk in sports. Now, what I want you to do before we even start going through the actual content of this resource is to click that little link in the top right hand corner and have a look at the Red Bull Rampage videos. That'll just basically paint a setting of part of the reason why self-talk is so important. Right, so after watching that, I hope it kind of puts in perspective some of the pressure or challenges that some athletes or even all athletes face when they're going into competition, especially in something as death-defying as this. So, what are the Koronga Ako to actually show us why self-talk is so important and to ensure we understand what it is? Well, you're going to learn how to explain what self-talk is, how to utilize self-talk positively, and understand and apply the steps of positive self-talk for all situations, not just sporting. So, first things first, what actually is self-talk? So self-talk and inner monologues, or even conversations, are what go on which provide opinions and evaluations on what you're doing as you're doing it, or even afterwards. Basically, it's like that little voice in the back of your head that commentates you through your life, right? So even that you might think of as a sports commentator. Sometimes self-talk can be positive, other times it can be negative. So what this resource is designed to do is help you harness self-talk and utilize it in a positive way. So, how to utilize it positively? Basically, when performing or practicing a skill or movement required in a sport or activity, many times I'm sure you've felt it too, doubtful self-talk will enter your head, making you feel more nervous than you should, or even convincing you that you can't perform to the level required. That's where choking comes from. A tennis player attempting a serve tells herself, "I'll fault this serve." Right? We'll need to practice replacing this statement with one that is positive, e.g., instead of "I will fault the serve," "I will complete it." While this may not seem important, it reinforces and repeats the affirmation that this individual will be able to perform it, thus moving away from a habit of self-doubt and replacing it with a positive habit, which should lead to improved expectations of positive outcomes, i.e., her completing the serve. So this positive talk, however, for it to be effective, must be realistic. So, for example, for those of us starting tennis just this time round, or with only minimal exposure to it beforehand, it's quite unrealistic for us to say or turn around and go, well, I'm going to be the next Roger Federer. I'm going to take over Nadal, right, and have the fastest serve out, or be the king of the clay court. Right? It won't be as believable, and therefore will have far less impact for the outcome of the action that you're trying to utilize. So, what we must then do is apply some steps to ensure that we have these realistic goals, realistic self-talk, right? And use a mantra, step one that is, to get going with it. So, create a more positive version of self-talk. Choose one or two simple mantras you can use during your training or even during a game. So this could be a simple affirmation, such as "I feel strong today," or even, I'm sure if you're in the weightlifting community, Ronnie Coleman's "lightweight baby," or his "yeah buddy," right? Or another simple positive phrase you can repeat over and over, right? Again, reinforcing that positivity, replacing a negative mantra with a positive one. Step 2, practice multiple scenarios. So once you've developed the habit of repeating this phrase during practice to the point where it's automatic, start expanding the dialogue so that you have familiar and comfortable statements for a variety of situations during your sport. For example, if you're cycling and reach a hill, you might say, "I'm a great hill climber," or "I've done this before and it's doable." If you get dropped from the pack, you can say, "Anything can happen, and I'm definitely not out of the race. Don't let up." So starting to adapt to situations. Even if we look at Rampage, right? The Red Bull Rampage that we just watched, if you miss time, a step or a setup for a jump, still landing it can replace the, oh, my run's over. No, it's okay. I still have more time. I still have more attempts to get a higher score. I'm in this. I've got this. So step 3, create a positive mental image or visualization, right? Something we're going to look at or have looked at already, right? The phrases and words you choose should be those that you can immediately call up and tie in with the visual picture that you've created of yourself doing exactly what you say. The image along with the words is a powerful combination that creates a positive message tied to a belief. So again, reinforcing the positivity and making you feel like you can achieve or accomplish the actual goal that you're setting out to do. So there's a learning activity tied in with this one. So explain how you would use the visualization process to intend a result or achieve a long-term goal and how it would enhance your performance or even your motivation. Explain how you would use this visualization process to intend out a skill or a set piece during a competition and how this would enhance your performance. So that's it for today. If you'd like the sources, these are the readings that you can look up yourself and look into more deeply. Now, before we do sign off though, make sure that you actually replace some negative self-talk with positive, or think about strategies in doing this in your own life, right? So simply, I can with I can't. I'm late for work, I better call the office, right? So taking some accountability too. I get nervous at parties, but I like going, or I get nervous in certain situations, but it's good for me to approach them, right? Or even when you stuff something up, rather than being hard on yourself, for the most part, everyone's their own worst critic, rather than thinking I'm so stupid or I'm dumb, I can't believe I did that. Talk to yourself and say, hey, everybody makes mistakes. It's okay. I'll learn from it and do better next time. So, again, let's make sure we swap out our negative self-talk with our positive self-talk in order to progress further, both in sport and in your life. And on that note, I hope you have an amazing evening or day. Ka kite anō. Catch you next time.